And we speak about universal digital inclusion because financial inclusion is not just about having a bank account, but it's also what can you do with that? Having a mobile phone, bringing in other verticals, whether it be agriculture, FMCG, and seeing how can we tie those all together to make being financially included actually beneficial for the citizens of emerging markets and Africa in particular.
Right, and I mean, you speak about the mobile penetration being one of the catalysts that could assist with this. Let's talk a little bit about that mobile penetration that we're seeing.
Sure. So one thing that's very interesting is, yes, you've got mobile penetration throughout the continent, but what we see is there's often a big focus on smartphones and mobile data solutions. And one of the real advantages of N-Frnds is we don't need mobile data. So yeah, we do smartphones, but we also provide services that can be accessed through any mobile phone. So we're really getting those people at the end of the value chain as well, whether it be women or rural users. And we see there are 4 billion people in the world that fall into this category. So for us, it's very important to use mobile phones, but to bring everyone in, regardless of their mobile device. And we also use agency banking or agency networks, where we take solutions from Indonesia, where we're powering over 200,000 agents, driving 4 billion customers and bringing them into the world. So using the mobile phone, but also using those agents to educate, to drive awareness, and to be our distribution channel into the last mile.
Talk us through some of the challenges of financial inclusion on the African continent. We have seen a bit of growth with those stats that we just read earlier on, but really, what are some of the challenges that still exist?
Yeah, so I'd say there are two major challenges, probably a lot more, but let's focus on two. Firstly, the costs. You know, when we're looking at this, we're a business and we work with banks and other financial institutions, which obviously need to make money. But on the other hand, we also want to reach the unbanked and the last mile. And as you know, there's 2 billion people in the world today that aren't financially included and are left out of that. So how do we get the costs down significantly? And then I'd say the other part of that is how do we provide services that people actually need that will benefit them, not just ticking a box of opening a bank account. And again, we do this through both our technology, so it's an advanced cloud-based platform. We have 21 patents. It's scalable. We have 15 million users on our platform today. So technology is part of it. The people are also part of it, and that's where the agency banking and agent network comes in that we provide a solution that through agents they can open bank accounts, do end-to-end mobile loans, and do various different features through their mobile phone. Now, that agent network is still costly if you're speaking about one bank. But what we do is that we then bring in FMCG companies, so whether it's a Coca-Cola or a Nestle or local FMCG partners, we bring in other insurance providers, agricultural services, and use that same agent network on our sophisticated software to provide a whole range of services. So what does this mean? It means we're also creating employment and income generating opportunities for these agents which penetrate into the most rural areas, but we're also providing useful services to these people. So they're not only opening a bank account, but they can also purchase a Coca-Cola or purchase insurance or different government services through the mobile phone. And that's very important, is having them hand in hand, that people agent network that's reducing costs. In our services in Indonesia, there are no bank branches. You don't even have that option because it's not financially viable. So you need a very advanced technology, and you also need the people with incentives and drivers, and that's what we use our technology to do, to also be pushing and catalyzing financial inclusion in these markets.
Based on your engagements and what you've seen, where, in terms of trends, where would you say there's been significant growth in terms of financial inclusion, perhaps in regions in Africa?
So certainly in the mobile banking space, and we've seen, you know, East Africa, in Kenya, there's some interesting things happening in Rwanda, which is our base there. What's interesting in Rwanda is it's also government-led then, that there's really a drive to drive financial inclusion, digital inclusion. So for example, in Rwanda, we also power the Rainbow platform and work with our partners there, Rwanda Online, to ensure all government services are available digitally through mobile phone. And the next step to that is also the financial inclusion, because they also do payments and services and can access and pay for national insurance through mobile phone. In agriculture also, there's a lot of talk about financial inclusion for farmers. It's 70 to 80% of the continent is working in agriculture, but there aren't that many solutions for them, and there's a lot of people trying. And what we do is, by creating that digital footprint, by doing things such as digitizing the value chains, looking at, say, milk farmers where we can see what they've collected, it then allows you to provide loans to these people because they have digital records, they have digital footprints, and suddenly you're able to provide loans to smallholder farmers who were previously too risky. So I think there's some really interesting things going on in Africa, and the opportunity is right, but definitely there's a need for technology and A/B testing and solutions and creating solutions for Africa by Africans.
I mean, we've run out of time, but I have to ask you the importance of financial literacy when we talk about financial inclusion.
Of course, people need to understand, and that's got to be part of it. And we do that through two ways. One, the agents. Again, there's no substitute for people when you're driving digital and financial inclusion. So the agents are catalysts for sensitization, for education, but also through our platform. You know, it's not just about mobile money. It's things like being able to do invoices and receipts, to share tips. We have a search functionality in our platform where people can search for agents or search for different products. And I think that's important, is it's not just providing the ability to do financial transactions, but also the education and the support, both digitally and with the correct distribution channels to drive that.
Brilliant. Thank you.